طيب في الفيديو ده
Symbiote طلعت دي بص يا ستاف في الفيديو ده حنانترفيوني أنا هتصورني هورك صورتك منظرك.
Okay, so I don't need an introduction, I'm just that cool, so.
Sure.
What's your name?
I'm Elise, and I'm a senior at UK.
So, I made people from the community ask Elise some questions, and now we're gonna answer it.
Like and subscribe.
Okay, from Muhammad Abu Farouk. What's the culture that's closer to you, the American or the Brazilian?
Definitely American. Because I obviously grew up in America. I've never lived in Brazil. I visited Brazil once. So I definitely identify more with American culture, but also like not fully with American culture. Like there's definitely a part of me that is Brazilian.
Wanna sell coke?
Yeah, like this deep part inside me just tells me, Elise,
wanna go to the World Cup.
Elise, you need to go to FIFA this year. And I have to silence that part of me because it's really sad.
Who's your favorite actor? Robert Downey Jr.
Why is he your favorite actor?
Because he's cool. He had like the greatest comeback in human history. He was in like deep shit. He was addicted to cocaine since he was 9, and then he jumped back, won an Oscar. Iron Man.
I didn't know he had a substance abuse.
In the movies, he acted like junkies, so he got really invested into the characters that he became a junkie.
Yeah.
Even his addiction is admirable.
My favorite actor is Natalie Portman.
Is that from Thor?
Was she in Thor? I didn't know
Jane
that.
Foster.
She was in a lot of movies from like 2000s, and she's just so beautiful. I really like her style.
Okay, describe Mustafa in 2 words.
Wait, I need to think about this. Because there are so many words. Like 2 words is not enough. Like on your psychology.
No cursing.
My 2 words to describe Mustafa are entertainer and...
I'll take entertainer.
I think entertainer, yeah, describes you well. Because you're a funny man. You're a funny guy. Also, charismatic. Choose the word. Listen. Stop. I was gonna say egotist, but I decided not to.
Because you're a guest?
Because I'm trying to be nice. So, charismatic is like the euphemism. It's a nice way to say.
Egotistical?
All that.
Sure. You want me to describe you in 2 words? White girl.
White girl.
How do you feel being half American, half Brazilian? And does that affect you in college?
In college? Actually, yeah. It's affected me like my whole life growing up. Because I didn't grow up knowing anyone that was also like raised biculturally. In some ways it was nice coming to college because college is like the most diverse place that I've ever been. You know, there's like international students, there's people from across America. I have met a lot of people that were raised biculturally or triculturally, and I really get along with those people. I think in college it's been mostly positive.
Who's your favorite Brazilian soccer player?
Neymar.
That's lame as fuck. Who likes Neymar?
Every Brazilian ever.
I don't think so. Dude is a god in leagues, but when he plays for the national team, he's a...
I don't know though. He's just Neymar. He's just a legend.
Do you know any other soccer players? Messi, Ronaldo,
Well, Messi
Mo
is...
Salah.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know Mo Salah? That's a famous Egyptian player. He plays in Liverpool.
From Yusuf. Yusuf.
Assalamu alaikum, متابعك من السعودية. He's saying peace be upon you, from your fan from Saudi.
Oh, cool.
You guys have a tight relationship with Saudis.
Yeah.
Do you know Portuguese? And if it's hard or easy?
I don't speak Portuguese fluently. In my household, we grew up speaking English. We didn't really speak Portuguese in the house. So I'm not very good at speaking it. I could introduce myself, but I'm way better at like, if someone talks to me, I can probably understand it.
That's the thing with everybody learning any other language. When you hear a lot of the other language, that's with me in English and with most people with English, you can understand English.
Yeah.
But you cannot speak
It's
English.
different to produce it.
Yeah. There is different ways of learning. There is negative learning when you're just taking, and there is positive learning when you're giving to
Right.
speak.
And I think that's what happens to a lot of people, that like one parent speaks one language and the other parent like speaks the dominant language. Like you sometimes, if you don't grow up speaking like Portuguese in the household, you're only ever really going to hear it. There's not going to be opportunities for you to like practice it.
Okay, what's the things and like the struggles you faced studying in college?
Honestly, there are a lot of wealthy people at UK, and it was actually a very big culture shock for me to come here, because I'm here like on scholarships. Like I worked really hard to come to college, and then I come to UK. I appreciate your tears. But it was a culture shock for me to like come here and be around people who, you know, didn't work hard. Like their parents just saved them 100. And I feel like it's harder to find people that are like not super wealthy than it is to find people that are like on the wealthy. Are you wealthy? All I know is that last time I looked at your bank account, there was $2.87.
Tell them. You know how much is that in Egyptian money? That's like 3 million. I'm like the wealthiest man in Egypt.
Oh yeah, that exchange rate.
No,
yeah.
Did you face any problems with food?
Yeah, I miss my mom's cooking. That's about it. I didn't struggle, like actually struggle.
What do you think about Arabs and Muslims, just the Middle East?
That's a weird question, because first of all, I feel like you can't generalize. Like I don't generalize, and I feel like
I do.
Okay, well you're the exception. Okay, we all know how you are. And I feel like people our age don't generalize. Like nobody I know thinks negatively of like Muslims or like Arabs. The experiences that I've had with like Arab people, I went on a trip once with like a couple of Palestinian girls, and like all my experiences have just been like, they've been very generous.
Especially me.
No, not him. Not him.
Why?
But just very generous, but also very like strong. I've just had good experience.
Okay.
Not strong like that.
Sure.
We know, Mustafa. You go to the gym. We know.
What do you like, being famous or working?
I would rather work if the job isn't like picking rice in a field. Like, no, I wouldn't like to be famous.
You don't?
I think that would be a burden to be famous. Yeah.
From Nada Abdullah.
Nada Abdullah.
What's your major and why did you choose it?
My major is international economics, and my language of choice is French. And that was really mean.
Dude, it's
We all know how much you love French girls, so don't even say that. Don't even say that.
Okay.
I chose economics because it interests me a lot, and it's also very frustrating. I don't like the way it's taught, and that kind of like fascinated me to like pursue it. It's extremely frustrating. I hate the way economics is taught because it's very like elitist. Like there's been so much work done in economics that is like progressive, and like they don't teach economics any differently than they did 100 years ago.
That's the same argument that most people have on everything, literally.
But also economics, it's just a very elitist, racist, anti-people, anti-community, the way it's taught. Like it's really fucked up. The way econ is taught, like you have to unlearn how to be a human being.
Econ is evil and you are evil and that's why you just...
No,
Okay.
It's because I'm not evil.
How did you feel Mustafa's personality when you didn't really know him? Just by information that was spread about him, like
Flooding.
like the flood.
Mhm.
Literally, she said the flood, like he's a problematic and stuff like that.
When I first heard the rumors about you, like, it was from Xander. It was from our friend Xander. It just kind of made you sound like irresponsible. I was like, that's crazy and like a little insufferable. And I was like, who would do that? Like, but I also I found it really funny that you took it upon yourself to install a bidet. And I was like, this guy, like, I just know whoever he is, he's gonna be a character. Whoever this guy was, he's gonna be, you know, a crazy one.
So after you met me, what do you think?
So Yeah, my opinion definitely changed about you. So then there was what I heard about you before I met you. Then I met you, and I got a first impression of you. And I really thought you were not good. Like, I actually thought you were, like, mean and, like, a player. Yeah, but and then I got to know you.
And I found out that this is true.
It's all true. No, you're actually a nice person. I can confirm Mustafa is obsessed with himself, but he has the best intentions. He actually thinks about other people. Even though he thinks a lot about himself, he thinks about other people, and that's what matters.
I'll take it. How did you meet Mustafa and how did you become friends?
We met because I work in the front desk at the building that we live in, and is friends with someone else on our staff. Like, we have a mutual friend, and
Someone else? I'm friends with the old stuff.
he also hangs out at the desk all the time, like annoying whoever is at the front desk. And he did that to me a couple times, and that's how I first like got to know him.
What do you think is better, American kitchen or the Brazilian kitchen?
I think Brazilian cuisine is better than American.
Didn't you have like a Brazilian candy you wanted me to try?
Yes! It's my favorite Brazilian candy. Live react.
If I die, I would get so mad. Actually, there's like a chocolate we have back home called Dahab. Is there a meaning for your name? And who named you? And is there a story for your name?
I actually don't know what my name means. My mom probably knows, but
I know what name means.
in your expert opinion, what does my name mean?
Elise means Alice in Portuguese.
In Portuguese. Yeah, it's Alice in Portuguese.
So you know
And
that.
in Portuguese, it's spelled the same. My parents changed the spelling because in America they would say Alice. I was named after my grandmother, my Brazilian grandmother. That was her name.
What do you think? What do you think Mustafa means? That's a really good question. I really like it. Shukran nada.
I think Mustafa means unlucky one.
It's quite the opposite.
Lucky one?
No.
Happy one?
No.
What does it mean? I don't know.
Guess
Unlucky.
another guess.
Unfortunate one.
No.
Is it like prosperous?
No.
Abundant? Strong?
No.
Warrior?
No.
Resilient?
No.
Is it positive, I'm assuming?
Nobody names their kid a negative name.
It could be. I've made so many guesses. Just tell me.
The chosen one.
The chosen one? Really?
Yeah.
That's why
that's
you
like
are
my
the
name.
way you are.
No, it's
That
not.
explains everything from birth.
Okay, إليسي لو بتشوفي الفيديوهات ايه أحلى فيديو شفتيه على قناة مصعب؟
لا يستا أنا بالكلام عربي.
Did you watch any?
Yeah, I watched a few. I saw the one with you and Jonah, and that was fun.
What's a good Arabic song that you heard or listened to in a public place or a friend showed it to you and you really liked it?
Oh, it's like it strikes me as Arabic mom music. Like your mom probably listened to that in the 80s.
You're dancing like an Egyptian now? If you have a daughter, would you let her marry
Date you? No. I wouldn't let her come within 50 feet of Mustafa.
Why?
I would get a restraining order against him.
Dude, you know, she literally said, between parentheses, everybody that we asked that question said no. Even Jonah, Jude, everybody
You
said
are
no.
never going to hear yes.
Everybody wanna keep me for themselves. So everybody said no.
Nope, it's a no for me.
Okay, let her sing an Egyptian song.
Sing an Egyptian song.
Okay.
I don't speak Arabic.
Okay.
حتى ورني حوارك لما ورنك منظرك.
That's awesome. What's your first impression about an Arabic guy? How do you feel?
To be honest, I think my initial impression is that they're more traditional than like an American guy, for example. I feel like Americans are very progressive. We talked about this. Guys want to split the bill. They don't want to they don't have like the provider mindset, and I feel like with an Arab guy, I would assume that he has more of like a provider orientation than like an American man.
What country is closest to your heart And do you feel that you're more Brazilian or more American?
I feel like I am definitely more American than I am Brazilian, just because I grew up in America. I've never lived in Brazil, although I have visited. I feel like I'm more American, but I still feel American Brazilian, if that makes sense. Like, I don't identify with people who were born here, whose parents were born here. Like, I don't fully identify with those peers of mine, but I don't fully identify with, like, Brazilians from Brazil. It's very much like its own unique, like, cultural space.
If you're gonna cook one Brazilian dish to Mustafa, what would it be?
Feijoada. My family cooked that for Thanksgiving dinner this year instead of like the traditional like turkey and all that because it's so good. It's like 4 different meats, slow roasted in a pressure cooker for like hours, and it's so juicy and good. And then the way you prepare the dish is like rice, black beans, the actual meat, the vinagrete, which is like a little salad with like tomatoes, chopped onions, and then the farofa, which is like this grain that you sprinkle on top to like balance out moistness, and it's just so good.
I wouldn't eat it.
It's really good. You totally would.
Did you ever hear about the Egyptian dish you would like to try?
Mm-hmm.
They're saying Mustafa made that dish for her. See, I don't have time now, but probably sometime because they want to know if I can cook or not. When I came here, I couldn't cook at all, but now
I don't believe that you can cook. I would be really surprised.
I'm the best.
Are you?
Everything I do. How many times do you visit Brazil, and what's the stuff that you miss when you're in America?
I have only visited Brazil once. It should have been more than that. But when I visited Brazil and like met my Brazilian family for the first time, like all my cousins, all my aunts and uncles, and my mom's aunts and uncles, it was like really special. It was actually very emotional because it was like my first time meeting my mom's family. That was, I think, like 2-3 years ago.
You know, I was also born in Kuwait, not Egypt. So when I go to Egypt, I also met my cousins and stuff for the first time. I'm sure I met them when I was like 2.
But you don't remember, yeah. It was the same for me.
But I keep meeting them every year. I go to Egypt every year, so
yeah.
But
That's cool.
it's a very different dynamic. Your family is your family because you see them so often. But when you don't see them and you expect to get treated as family, it's a little bit strange.
It's weird, yes.
Nobody will understand the feeling except the people that try.
Yes.
It's so like...
Because you know they're related to you, but you don't have like the relationship. Like you haven't been building the relationship with them your whole life.
Yeah.